There was two songs that got me through for years. Neither one of them was Christian. One of them can be that was released as Christian by Russell somebody years later. But Mike and the Mechanics come out with it in the 80s. It was 1984. It was called In the Living Years. My grandpa died a few months before this song come out. And my grandpa, to me, was everything. He was my best friend. He was everything to me. I was 6 years old when he died. So all these years later, I could put that. Back then they didn't have CDs. It was a tape. Put this tape in the radio. And anytime I got upset, it was like my grandpa was there with me. And I just start crying. Even to this day, sometimes I put that song in. Now it's a CD. I listen to it on YouTube, just play it over and over and over again. And it helped me through a lot. And I was able to feel something. It was like he was there with me. And the next song never was released religious, never will be released religious. It was called The Yankees. Coming of Age. Little Junior's off in a rage. And the more I got silent, that come out later in my teen years. But then I was angry because I was silent for so many years. That song, to me, was written for me. So I would go in there and I played that CD. Back then they did have the CD. I played that CD. And I turned that full blast. Jarred that whole house. And dared anybody to come around me. And I would just play that song over and over and over again. And that song had the opposite. The more I played it, the madder I'd get. And as the years went by, about 16, one day I was watching a show just a few minutes ago called Snapped on Oxygen. And at 16, I just snapped. The band was gone, and I just snapped. And my dad got in my face one time too many. And yeah, I was running from God, because God was calling me to preach. There's many factors why I didn't. Number one is I felt I was too young. And number two, I've been told all my life that I had to take all this stuff. I wasn't a Christian. And at 16, I didn't want no part of Christianity if this was what a Christian had to take. So I snapped. I looked at them. I said every single cuss word there was, within 10 seconds flat. First time I cussed in my life. Pushed him up against the stove and said, "You want to see a Christian? I'll show you sin." You know, each and every one of us has a snapping point. But God can be with us throughout it all. You know, when I needed God the most in my life, I left Him. That ain't how it should be. We should stick with God through thick and thin, through the good times and the bad. Through every struggle, we need to look upon Him for the answers, and He'll show us the way. He'll show us the light. You know, maybe some people tonight needs to know that there's still a God out there that loves them. Although you made your mistakes, although you failed God, although you've turned your back on God, if you come back to God, He'll receive you with open arms. And that's the invitation I got when I was 18 years old. 2 years I lived my life. Didn't care about no one or nothing. Somebody made me mad, I'd just go off. I had my voice for the first time in my life. I was working at McDonald's, and had earrings in my ear. I had longer hair when I went in for my interview, but I had to cut it because they didn't like that at the restaurant. But I had about shoulder length hair, longest my hair has been in my life. But anything that I was pretty much raised to believe was wrong, I pretty much done it. All but drinking and drugs. Tried drinking, didn't like it. Never tried drugs because I just never did get into it. But I tried drinking a couple times and didn't like the taste of it, so I didn't do it. Tried smoking a few times in my life and didn't like the taste of it, so I quit. But